The Eurasian steppe during an Ice Age winter reaches temperatures of -40 degrees Fahrenheit. In this environment, exposed skin dies within minutes. Without preparation, a modern human would likely be dead before sunrise. The popular image of this era depicts primitive groups shivering in natural caves, barely surviving the night. Archaeology suggests a different story, one of sophisticated engineering and architectural planning. Ice Age survival was the result of mastering active, deliberate thermal engineering. At sites across Ukraine and Russia, such as Mezheridge and Kostenki, researchers uncovered complex planned communities. These were engineered buildings, constructed with mammoth skulls for foundations and curved tusks for structural frameworks. Each foundation skull weighed over 200 pounds, indicating a level of organized construction far beyond simple scavenging. These houses were capable of maintaining interior temperatures 40 to 50 degrees warmer than the outside air. This thermal delta equals the performance of modern Arctic shelters that use industrial insulation and electric heating. To understand how this was possible with stone tools, we have to look at the specific physics of their construction. Survival began months before the freeze, with construction scheduled for late summer while the earth was still workable. At Castro, archaeology shows that builders excavated circular depressions up to 8 feet deep. This is a strategy known as ground-coupled heat transfer. At these depths, the ground temperature remains 20 to 30 degrees warmer than the air above the surface. They utilized this same principle for food storage, using permafrost tunnels as natural refrigerators to keep meat frozen throughout the winter. These builders used the Earth's thermal mass to place their living quarters beneath the most extreme cold. Above the excavation, they constructed the superstructure using mammoth bone and hide. The walls were a multi-layered composite, with each material chosen for a specific thermal function. The innermost layer of animal hide, with the fur facing inward, trapped warm air against the occupants. A middle layer of dried grass and moss wicked moisture away from the interior. The outermost layer of woven bark and reed blocked the wind while remaining breathable enough for vapor to escape. If moisture from breathing and cooking remained trapped, it would freeze and destroy the structure from the inside. Modern construction uses the same underlying physics, employing vapor barriers and insulating foam to manage heat and moisture. While the materials were different, the thermodynamic principles were identical to those used in modern housing. The secondary component of this system was the internal heating. In the treeless steppe, wood was rarely available in the quantities needed for survival. Analysis of hearth residues shows they used alternative fuels, such as mammoth dung and processed bone, which were treated to maximize burn efficiency. A central hearth provided primary heat, while smaller secondary hearths were positioned around the perimeter for specific tasks. To prevent moisture buildup, the interior required a constant flow of air. Small openings near the ground pulled in fresh air, while vents at the apex allowed warm, moisture-laden air to escape. The structure functioned as an active machine, requiring continuous management of fuel and ventilation to remain habitable. This need for constant management influenced the daily behavior of the people inside. Historical and biological evidence points to a polyphasic sleep pattern, involving 2 4-hour periods of rest separated by a wakeful period. During this midnight waking period, occupants tended to the fires, repaired hide coverings, and maintained the shelter's insulation. Anthropologist Polly Wiesner found that among groups living in these conditions, nighttime conversation shifts almost entirely to storytelling. The winter hearth served as the primary space for the transfer of cultural knowledge and myths. This environment of firelit winter confinement is also where many figurines and cave paintings from the period were created. The thermal constraints of the Ice Age winter provided the specific social context for the development of these artistic and cultural traditions. As the Ice Age ended and climates warmed, these specific architectural systems were gradually replaced. Modern Arctic engineers who analyzed the thermal efficiency of these Paleolithic remains found that the ancient designs were highly effective. Today, military training programs use reconstructions of these 20,000-year-old designs to teach modern survival methods. Disaster relief organizations have also adopted these structural geometries for emergency housing in extreme climates. Science spent decades rediscovering the survival mechanics our ancestors mastered, using just bones and stone tools. Consider the digital thermostat in your modern home, providing warmth through automated systems. Contrast this with the caloric energy Paleolithic humans spent to achieve the same internal temperatures. Every warm night required weeks of preparation and a precise understanding of physics, where a single mistake in the system could be fatal. Today, our modern traditions of gathering and storytelling are the direct descendants of life around these ancient bonehouse hearths. Modern humans inherited warmth from engineers who solved the problems of the Ice Age with stone tools and the refusal